Here we go.
In 5, 4, 3.
Call to me, lands far away.
Elves have forests to protect.
We need to build a wall.
Dwarfs their mines. Men their fields of grain. But we Harfoots have each other.
For I must now wander this wandering day.
We're safe.
You have fought long enough, Galadriel.
No.
Put up your sword.
The enemy is still out there. The question now is where?
It is over.
Nothing is over! Nothing! You were the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them!
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
Darkness will march over the face of the earth. It will be the end, not just of our people, but all peoples.
Everyone! I am sorry, but their time has come.
The past is with us all. The past is dead.
We either move forward or we die with it.
This could be the beginning of a new era.
Away I must wander this wandering day.
To him finally being lionized in the prime and his prime. Fuck.
Do it!
Shit.
Just do it! Don't let your dreams change. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true!
Luke went from being... Oh, no. Welcome, Slayer Nation. I have some great news for you today. I hope you're all doing great. Nope, that didn't work. One more.
You have failed me for the last time.
Welcome, Slayer Nation. I hope...
If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up.
That is eating away at what you love in order for it to shine. And one man's vision is... Sometimes you don't have to make things better for them to be great again. You merely have to Okay. Hollywood continues to slow boil the culture and crazy. Well, right now, Spider-Man actor Andrew Garfield has stepped up and he's fighting motherfucker.
I can't do it. Okay. We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it.
And unbearded dwarves, but Prime didn't stop there. They stapled in intersectionality, individuality, biddiga-dig-bee, biddiga-dig-boo.
So it begins.
At my signal, unleash hell.
Ladies and gentlemen, George the Giant Slayer.
What's going on, everybody? We're back. It's Slayer Unchained, and it's July 9th, 2025 in the year of our Lord. How are you doing today? We got people still coming in. Apologies, I was a little late. We're having a thunderstorm. It's kind of going crazy. So, who do we have here today? We got a lot of news to cover. We got Man of War 665, Neighbor of the Beast. Adam Zant, always great to see you. Tune the News, The Watcher, Toxic Waltz. A lot of my favorite people here. Plus, Terry, the last Martian. Oh, that's good to know. When your people arrive, just tell them, we're friends. That's all. We're good buddies. So when it becomes War of the Worlds, we'll be okay. How are you doing too, First Last? Joseph Lanham. Always great to see you. I guess Tom and Verbal will be here in a bit, but there's a lot to cover. I think it was Tom Hanks' birthday today. He turned 69. I don't know if anybody cares anymore about the old bosom buddy. Forrest Gump. He used to be a great actor. Then he opened his mouth like so many of them. Tune the News. Good to see you. Hey, Delanning the Dillon. Cool. Interesting. Howdy. Hail to everybody. Andrea Black. Nice to see you. Love that short. It's all sharp. Joe X. How you doing, sir? Rubs hands with delight. Oop, I'm not going to ask what that's about, but hey, to each their own. Plus, there's been a rumor running around that you remember the Disney series Obi-Wan Kenobi? Not the real Obi-Wan. There's been a rumor now for a month that they're supposed to be getting a season 2. There's 2 different reports that have come out. One has stated that, no, it's not happening. That comes from the Insider, the Disney Insider. The guy's pretty good on his sources. And then there are other reports that saying, no, Disney's slowly moving ahead with it. So, of course, it is a pantomime. Rubs hands with delight. It is. Joe X. William Barr. Love the old War of the Worlds film with floating snakes. Yes, that was amazing. You know what I love the most? Have you ever listened to the original radio broadcast that actually scared the crap out of half the country that Orson Welles did? That is a beaut. Of course, today you'd end up shackled and for something like that, even though, think about it, how brilliant it was. Superman box office is tracking low. Yeah, we're going to talk about Superman as soon as the guys get here. Verbal already checked it out. I'm going to see it tomorrow night because last night we had FAFO. I had tickets. I finally found tickets to go to the, fan event, but I gave them to family because I'm not going to miss FAFO. I'm enjoying FAFO. If you haven't checked it out, it's every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central. It's with Ron Coleman and, of course, the illustrious Mark Mitchell from Rasmussen Reports. And he had some really great news last night. All of these big polling firms are now getting together, the honest ones, so they can give you the exact data you need. I'm proud he's a part of it. I think that's really cool. Plus, we had this mama bear who, you've either seen, Generation Cyborg act this way, either in, family, friends with kids, or you watched it happen and you wanted to do the exact same thing. When I saw this, I was like, oh God, I'm going to put this like as a screensaver to play constantly on a loop. She's like, you want your phone at the dinner table? You keep it. You got it forever. I know. Toxic Waltz. I thought that was cool myself. I was like, there you go. Because that's become such a problem. It's like, it's not something that I grew up with. The phone rang, it rang. And that was pretty much it. Fake, but funny. I think it's a cool idea. It was just, you watch it. You go to a restaurant and now you don't see people communicating with each other. It's just like 4, 5, 6, 10 people. They're all doing this at the table. Mm-hmm. Yeah, waitress comes up. They don't even look up. Yeah, I want number 2, number 3. And you're like, come on already. Be a little human. Steel Leg of History comes in, member for 18 months. We're almost at a year. Isn't that a beautiful 2 years? What am I talking about? Wow. That really goes by fast. I even missed it. So proud of you. Be blessed. Bless you, my friend. Love what you're doing with the channel. Hey, Josh. Great to see you. And we have narrow boating with Nigel. You're going to say, what? Be back when I get over my stream fatigue. Sick of hearing if I'm honest. I always love when you're honest. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. Never change that for anybody. Anybody. Let me check in and see what the heck is going on with everybody. See if they're showing up or something happened. Hold on. Let me just send a quick message here. Yes, that's that loud clickety-clack keyboard. So, we also have, where did you go? Where did you go? It seemed to also be the peculiar week for, you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. What's bothering me is, well, since you asked, I've been working on a video for the last 3 days. 3.5 days. The Texas floods. All of a sudden, we're getting storms here also where I'm living. But it has driven me crazy how the storms seem to have unearthed every basement bobblehead creature from under a rock. Every monster has come out. And they're attacking children. I mean, this is the time when you set aside your personal beefs, your political ideology, whatever the hell it is you believe, and you go help. You either do that by offering a hand, supporting someone else, or getting the hell out of the way. You don't attack kids. And I'm watching video after video of these monsters. You got children who've been found floating like leaves in the Guadalupe River. Yet you got TikTok monsters who are coming out in order to cash in on clout and division. You know, in my book, I'm all for free speech. But I have 2 exceptions. 2. You can love me or hate me for it. You do not attack women. You do not attack children. That's my line in the sand. Period. And I'm not changing it for anything. Verbal Riot, how you doing, my friend?
Doing well, man. Doing well. It is hot over here in LA, man.
Really? That's one thing I always loved about LA was the weather. I never remember it being hot.
Yeah, I think it's like in the 90s or something. Which for you Texans means nothing. I know. I
was like, oh, wow, hot. I was like, okay. I was like,
we're soft here, man. We're soft. It's 60 is too cold, 90 is too hot. So,
but at night, you know what I noticed? The funny thing is, when I lived in Santa Monica, is that very few people had ACs. They opened their windows.
That's kind of surprising.
That was 91, 92.
Oh, okay, that was bad. Yeah. Most places now all have air conditioning.
Yeah, the homes they did, and I was like, "Where's the AC?" When I stayed at my uncle's place, like, what AC? You don't need it. Look at the beauty. I'm like, AC,
well,
you know.
Also, though, if you're at the beach, you probably don't need it as much because you get that ocean air. So,
yeah, but it was nice. I got to tell you this quick story. So my uncle, I can't give his name because if he ever watches this, which I'm sure he does. It's just been a few years since we talked. He's not an uncle by blood. He's just one of those people, you have family, they're friends of grandfather and grandmother, and then you grow up with them and they become uncle. So it's that kind of uncle. Well, I had finished school and he's like, come out here. So, and I lived there for a while. So I went there for the summer and a friend of mine, he visits. He was visiting his actual brother. And his brother was cool as hell. He would take us to these Irish pubs. And one of them I remember was called the Irish Rover, where I was like, are you going to check for ID? Like, can you step up to the bar, Sonny boy? I'm like, yeah, you can fucking drink. I was like, okay, not a prize. Like, you can stick up, pay for a pint. You got it. So my uncle had just gotten married and I hadn't met his wife. Okay. So this Jewish boy, he married a black lady from Stanford. My friend comes from Texas. Of course, my uncle wanted to constantly fuck with me. The first time I met her, he turns around, he's like, George, this is my wife. He goes, I know you're used to slavery in Texas, but this is how we do it in California. He would constantly say these fucking jokes like this. So my friend comes from Texas And he introduces him to him. He's like, hey. He goes, I'm going to pick you guys up. He goes, this is my wife, Charlotte. And Pat's like, oh, okay. That's your wife. He's like, and? He's like, it doesn't bother you? He goes, no. He kept making these Texas jokes, one after the other. And we still smelled of milk in many ways.
Right.
But I loved Santa Monica.
Yeah, it's still relatively a nice place. I mean, obviously, Gavin Newsom's run the state in the shit, but Santa Monica's still pretty decent.
I liked Brentwood and Westwood. I like Brentwood, Westwood, Pico. I used to go to this place called Anna Maria's. It was awesome Italian food, this little dive.
Yeah, there's some great places in Westwood, man. I especially like near like the UCLA area, where the college kids are. Used to be some great bars over there, man. Not so much though lately.
No, I remember we would go like every couple of nights. We'd go to the movie theater, and there'd always be somebody passing out. Do you want to go to this screening? Do you want to go to here? You could check. I was like, it was one of the best times of my life. I enjoyed it. The only thing
California used to be a great place, man. I don't know what happened to it.
Yeah, it's called Gavin Newsom. And we have when we got Tom for Midnight's Edge After Dark. Join us. How you doing, my friend?
Tired. I stayed up too late watching Superman.
Oh, you went to check it out last night?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to talk about it in a second here. Before we get to it, it was official 6 hours ago. Where'd you go? HBO Max is now officially HBO Max. And of course, they've been doing the little thing. And they're like, Twitter won't let me change my name back. And they put up all these vids. It's kind of... Oh yeah, they had a couple more. One,
yeah, I missed that show so much.
You and me both. I'm waiting for it to come back.
My name is Nathan Fielder, and I graduated from one of Canada's top business schools with really good grades. Now, I'm using my knowledge to help struggling small business owners make it in this competitive world. Don't be shy to tell me it's a great idea. To be honest, I love compliments.
Anyway, they're playing with it. I think it's kind of fun. So, before we jump into everything, two different guys, my two good friends. What are your takes? Tom, you want to start? Superman? Is this something that I'm...
a mouthful of bagel.
Okay. Verbal?
I haven't heard what Verbal thought yet. I checked in last night, but I didn't get to hear his take much.
Are you muted?
My kung fu is better than my karate, but
Verbal,
not quite as good
muted
as my taekwondo.
There it is. All right.
Yeah.
No, I think I liked it a little bit more than the folks I went with. I think they liked it overall, but I think they had some problems with it. So did I. I mean, it's not a perfect movie by any means. It's parts of it are very James Gunn. So take that what you will, right?
Guardians of the Galaxy James Gunn or Troma James Gunn?
I mean, it's like MCU James Gunn. I mean, it's James.
I get
Gunn.
what he means, but it's not just the humor though either. I mean, he tugs at the heartstrings. He does all his typical ish.
He does the James Gunn
kind of stuff,
and the movie does have problems. Okay, like I'm not going to say it doesn't, but at the same time,
was it enjoyable? Because that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for.
For me, David Cornsweet killed it, man. He's Superman. I mean, I love Cavill. I'll always love Cavill. I'll watch anything he's in. But it's time to just let the torch pass already.
I got it.
And Cornsweet does a great job for me as Superman. What's funny is we don't get a lot of Clark Kent in this movie. It's mostly Superman. So, but I thought the chemistry with him and Rachel was great.
They had it.
Look, again, love Cavill, but I felt nothing with him and Amy Adams. I didn't
that was
get
a
that
bad
relationship at all.
Yeah, I agree.
It was okay, I guess, but I didn't see the chemistry there. You see the chemistry all over the place with those two. So love that. Him and Lex. I love the stuff between him and Lex. I mean, it was a fun. You know what it was? It was just it was like watching, the animated series or reading a comic book. It felt like a comic book as you're watching it. You know what I mean? It's not not a lot of super substance. I mean, there is some substance, but and I guess the message of the story is, yeah, this Superman is not. He is not this is not the edgelord Superman.
Okay.
This is a Superman who is naive, who believes in good, who tries to do the right thing just because he was raised by farmers who want to raise a good man. He's not an edgelord. So, and I'm not saying Cavill's was, but Zack Snyder is. So let's put it out there.
Was it aspirational?
Yeah, it
Okay.
felt very hopeful. It felt like, this guy, is just saving. That's the thing. He was saving people left and right, which
And he
contrasts
catch out
that
of
to
the trees?
contrast that to Ironheart, where
Sorry.
I mean, the basic plot.
He doesn't save one person in 6 episodes. Doesn't save one person. He's saving people left and right, and he saves a squirrel.
Oh, so he did the Christopher Reeve thing, like saving the cat out of the tree.
Yeah,
So he did, okay.
I mean,
I like that.
Kind of the whole point of the movie is Superman kind of coming to terms with who he is, what it means to be a good man, and all that kind of stuff rolled into one, and a superhero at the same time, right? Like,
yeah.
So he has all these things he's juggling while he's also being torn down. He's at his possibly lowest point, but it's all about him getting back up and keeping going, rolling with the punches, right? So yes, we do see him get knocked down, but we also see him get back up, dust himself off, and keep trying. Like, that's the whole point. He's not an overpowered Superman, but he is this very hopeful, and you can see how they were able to finally do the big blue Boy Scout on screen aside from Christopher Reeve. It's a totally different version. Like, you have to get past everything you've seen before when you get into this, because it hits the ball, it's ground running, and you're like, okay, what's going on here? And then all of a sudden, once you catch up, you're like, okay. And then as it gets going, you to me personally, it really kept me invested through the characters. The story kept clipping along. I mean, it doesn't have issues like Verbal just said. Yeah, absolutely. There's some dodgy CGI. I didn't care for what little use of the pop music there was. I wouldn't necessarily say there isn't Clark so much as there's not very much Daily Planet Clark Kent. We get the third Clark Kent a lot, which is the one that he shows to Mom and Pop and Lois, right? The people that he knows in his personal life. We see that Clark a lot.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But other than that, there's some side characters I felt like that got kind of the shaft probably in the edit, which is fine because they obviously weren't necessary. Because this clearly has been streamlined down to the basic story of what this movie is, but the performances help sell it, and I don't feel like it needed to be all that much longer, but I would watch an extended cut, if that makes sense. I'm not against it.
Did it get swallowed by too many characters?
No. In fact, I totally understand now what my friend meant when he said you have to look at some of these ancillary characters or extra characters as basically like cops would be in like a regular film. Yeah. And I know what he means now, because they're like Superman is like the main character of the film, right? So like, in those movies where the main character, everybody's against him, it looks like, he's guilty of something or whatever. And there's always like that one cop or that one guy that either smells something isn't right or just trusts him and knows that something ain't right. There's they're that character. Does that make sense? Like, one of those characters is that character. Yeah. And the same thing with his other supporting cast. They're all kind of there to support him. Okay. But at the same time, I loved, I thought Hal Jordan was great. I thought Mr. Terrific was great. I'd never even heard of this character before.
Oh, no, Guy.
Oh, yeah. I heard Mr. Terrific knocked it out of the park, whoever played him.
Oh, yeah. He did a phenomenal job. But you know what's cool about that? He did a great job, but no one stole the show. Like, it was Superman's movie.
Good.
Yes, right? Like, no one stole the show away from Corn Sweat.
Him and Lex are pretty much dead, the center of this whole thing. And look, there's going to be some people who might want to draw some sort of parallels to things in modern culture, but you got to remember this movie was written 2 years ago. It's nowhere like on the nose where they're like, this is this and this is that.
Oh, not
there's
at
even
all.
There's even
at all.
Yeah, and there's even a line that's like, even if you want to try and draw some parallels, that pretty much kind of nixes that by clearly saying that Lex Luthor is definitely not a Trump type, right? He's not an allegory for Trump in any way.
Not at all.
So, I mean, in that, all that stuff that the press has been pushing for the last few days has just been bullshit. And I'm so glad we got our videos out on that stuff, basically breaking it all down between that leaked review and that asshole on the red carpet.
Oh, Mark,
yeah, where he's like, dude, what do you have to say about Mega losing their minds? Because normally is this the gayest thing? It's the gayest thing ever.
I don't know why they even talk to this guy anymore, man. Like, I don't know. If I were a studio, I would tell my talent and the crew to avoid him like the plague.
I wish Jim had, and it almost feels like Jim might have gotten a bit of a talking to from Zaslav, but he forgot to pass it on to the rest of his crew, because if you watch the interviews, like, yeah, Sean has a bad take, Nathan's is kind of but then Gunn's just like, you can tell just from his body language, just like, this fucking guy, I did not want to have to answer this guy's question. But he asks the same fucking question to every one of them, yeah. And what mega outrage is there? They're going off of like one story that was on Fox television. Fox News.
I thought Fillion, you know, he tried to play it off, but let's show everybody.
Oh, James has said that Superman is an immigrant story.
Did all right.
That it is political. MAGA today was getting a little upset that he called Superman an immigrant. I wanted to get your reaction.
Somebody needs a hug. It's just a movie, guys. It's just a movie.
I think you should have just stuck with that. It's just a movie was a perfect, but it's like this guy went. He went to Gunn, he went to Gunn's brother, and Gunn's brother just shit the bed with it. But this guy sets it up. Why do they allow him? That's all he does. This is
what the media does. This is what we've been trying to tell you guys for a while.
And he does it all the time.
Yeah, I know. He did it with, Gunn's brother. But, oh well. It's people.
Well,
like
it's based on this interview that was in the London Times that was heavily editorialized and God knows taken out of what kind of context. And then you have that added in, that they wrote all these stories off of that, creating headlines out of things that Gunn never actually said in the interview.
Right. I can believe that.
And that's why I think that somebody had a talking to about this whole thing, because you had headlines saying that Superman is political, pro-immigrant, anti-Trump in the headlines, basically all over the fucking place. And none of that's in the movie. Right. None of that. Like all this idea that this movie is overtly political, I'd like to know where that even stemmed from, because basically the original answer that Gunn gave the interviewer was, Superman's basically always been political, but come on, it's a movie with a flying fucking dog in it. Let's not take it too damn seriously, is basically what he said. But everybody in their little write-ups left off that last part.
Mm-hmm. Good.
And then they
wasn't woke.
No, and then they tried to tie it in with his comments that got him pretty much / quote unquote sort of canceled in the first place. Mm-hmm. But if you notice and you go back through his history, Gunn has not said shit about Trump or Republicans or any real politics to my knowledge since that incident. And I think he's one of the few celebrities who may have actually learned a few lessons. And if you actually listen to some of the shit he said in that interview, it's like, honestly, he's right. He's even holding himself to task here, because he says we all get a little too sucked up in the internet, not treating each other like people. Right. And I'm part of this problem, he said. So it's not like he's pointing the finger at Trump or anybody else. And he's like, we all got to be a little less mean and more nice to each other. And I'm included in this, he's saying. Right. And that's kind of what the movie is about a little bit in that part of Superman. And that's what I get what he means by the whole kindness thing and the whole truth, justice, and American way thing. Look, I get it. People are upset about it. It's not in the movie. They never say truth, justice in the human way or anything like that.
No, they don't say anything like that.
No, but you understand when you get to the end of the film that Superman is human, right? He may be an alien from another planet, but he's human. Right. He was raised by us. He was raised as one of us. So he has all the same emotions, passions, flaws, fears that we have, right? Like, I mean, that's kind of the whole crutch of the matter. Not to give too much of it away, but that's
don't give it away.
That's just Superman, right? Like, I mean, that's Superman, right? I mean, and I think Gunn nailed that part of it. Like, some people are not going to like it. Obviously, the Snyder Bros are going to hate on it just because they got to hate on it. But I've seen plenty of people I respect. At least they say it's not woke. They just didn't like it, and that's cool. I get it. It's not going to be some people's cup of tea. It is very much a comic book movie. It is feels like it's ripped out of a comic book or a Saturday morning cartoon kind of thing as far as the feeling and the storyline, but it's not a bad thing. I don't mean that in any negative way. If you get my drift.
No,
It's a lot like in the tone of the 90s series. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Well, I have a few clips we're going to play. This one Steph had shared earlier. I thought it was kind of funny before we get to the actual Superman clips.
Extra creatine, please. Yo, James Gunn.
Oh, hi, Zack Snyder.
Just saw your new cut of Superman, and word of advice, he's the man of steel, not the man of conversation.
Okay.
Do more shots of him punching, and here is a secret move. Start the punch at regular speed, and then you're gonna ramp it down.
It's not a fucking secret. I'm sorry, Zack Snyder. I shouldn't be lashing out at you. Your biceps are the size of my head.
Yes, but so is my heart. What's going on with you?
Some fan of the Velocitree franchise got onto the lot today. He used a portal and he just... Zach, we're not losing touch with the audience, are we? I mean, I gave notes on the goddamn Count Chocula movie this morning.
Was the portal green? That's Rick Sanchez, Gunner. That's the guy that sealed Nolan in the giant bookcase to quote-unquote punish him for Interstellar. He doesn't represent real fans. He's just the smartest man in the universe. Don't sweat it. He can't do what we do. Probably. Gonna go crush some weights. One day you're gonna wish you hit the gym like I do, James Gunn.
Anyway, there's a lot of fun stuff going on, but I
haven't been a fan of that show, but like, I got to give Zach and James credit for having a sense of humor about all this stuff.
Well, they should. That's how you got to deal with it. I mean, I'm just happy because we've had stuff between interviews and little leaks or what we thought leaks, which were worrying me, which I brought up for the last few weeks. So I'm really happy. Hey, Jose, how you doing? I think we lost Verbal, probably having a technical glitch. He'll be right back. But here's a clip that was released this morning. We have two more.
How do you even know Superman anyway?
I like this bit.
So you know about the hypno glasses.
Now she does.
Well, I'm not saying who he is, just that he wears hypno glasses. They make his face terrific. How do they work? They make his face look different in your brain when he wears them so that you don't know who he is.
Yes, I know this.
So you know he's Clark Kent.
Why does he trust everyone?
He does. You also have the cloth.
The cloth?
And it's cool. I want to know. This clip when I saw it was the first moment I started to breathe a little easier because everything else at least I had seen of Guy Gardner, especially with Philly, and I told you I was like, did they really miscast him in a possible way? But I like this. I like that.
Oh no, yeah, he's totally like the. I mean, I guess it's that version of the character that they're doing, but like, he's got that total like.
The class clown part?
No, he thinks he's sexier than he is. He thinks he's better than he really. He's that. I was trying to think of the character from. Gosh, he's just egotistical and full of himself or whatever. No,
you're talking about Guy Gardner?
Yeah. I was trying to compare him to somebody, but I was trying to think, but like, yeah.
He's just an asshole, basically.
Because I like this clip that I just played, if you caught it, the one where he's talking with Lois.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one of the better bits in the movie, too, where he's
cool. Eric K for $5. Question for the panel. Will this James Gunn make all the James Gunn?
It's a James Gunn movie, that's for sure.
It's a James Gunn movie. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
and you really got to take that with what you will. I mean, it's if you like James Gunn, you'll probably like this movie a lot. If you don't like James Gunn at all, then this is probably going to be a hard movie to watch. So,
but that's good to know. That's good to know to tell people. That's good to know. Hey, Lord Thoth, I see you there.
And also, I want to say, like, if you don't like it, that's fine. Like, it's not even like the good thing about it, and I've seen this a lot on X is. I think people are just happy that we can argue the quality of the film without talking about politics.
That's good.
Wokeness. It's just either you like parts of it or you didn't like it or you did. And it all has to do with the film. And it has nothing to do with the outside bullshit.
That's a fucking win in my book. If you don't have any of the politics, that's a win.
Because there's some people who didn't like F1 and they had their own reasons. None of it had to do with politics or wokeness. It was just so I'd rather have those conversations.
Of course, that's the conversations we used to have growing up. Boy, what they used to call the nerd conversation. What did you like about the movie? What you didn't like about the movie? What did appeal to you? What didn't appeal? Oh, he was too much power here, not power here. So that's the question. That's a good question if you think about it. If you had to recommend two movies to have fun, good time, even though they're different? Would it be F1 or Superman?
I'd say Superman because F1 is it's fun, but it's a little bit more, serious, a little bit more, heady. I think and not even in a because there's some sports movies that are just rah rah, right? I mean, you got movies like Any Given Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Which is
Oliver Stone.
Look, I like Oliver. No, I don't. I don't like Oliver.
You don't.
Nobody likes Oliver Stone. You just like a couple of his movies.
I like a couple
and
of
that's
his films.
everybody.
Yeah.
Nobody actually really likes him.
And I do like Any Given Sunday as one of his films. So
that is one of his better films.
JFK.
JFK is a good one.
Sports movie.
Platoon.
Platoon. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a few good ones, but yeah.
I have issues with the man just because of
The Doors.
He was one of the first directors to blame the audience. I remember he gave this talk about the movie Alexander.
Oh God, yes.
And they asked him about why did it fail, and he blamed the audience's lack of sophistication,
education. I remember he was like, "They're not educated to understand it." It's like,
get the fuck out of here. Alexander was just a bad movie.
Yeah,
that's why I love William Friedkin's response to all that, because somebody said to him, like, in that speech he was talking about how DVDs are supposed to only last like 8 to 10 years. He's like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, I got DVDs on my shelf that have been there for 20 years. Fuck him and fuck Alexander. Like, that's what he said.
I agree. Yeah. So we also have this last clip. Just it's like they're doing this really heavy, which I'm glad, and I like the marketing now better as well.
Hey, IGN fans, here's an exclusive look at a new clip from Superman.
Target in sight.
He's back. You're 5 o'clock.
Copy.
12C. $18.8.
The score is really good movie, I thought.
34B.
Wait, talking about the score, do we get a full John Williams ever?
Oh, it's in there, but it's not overused. And otherwise, like, it's got some pretty memorable, like, the music you're hearing now is pretty good. Like, it's got pretty good music throughout. It's one I'm going to definitely pick up.
Okay.
I didn't like the pop songs in it, but the score
songs.
itself. Yeah, there's like 3 little like bits or so that have to do with like, and I've never even heard the songs before, so they might be original songs written for the movie. But there's this little, and this isn't that much of a spoiler. There's a little bit where and this is probably one of the most James Gunn scene bits of the whole movie, where Clark and Lois, when they're bickering about stuff, they're talking about bands and punk rock. And so that like scene, their little conversation there feels very James Gunn. So there's this callback to the groups they're talking about. I've never heard of them. So I think they're just made up bands that are in the movie. If I'm wrong, please somebody tell me. I don't keep up with music anymore.
Yeah, I thought they were fake. I thought they made them up.
I think so. So there's like 3 songs in the whole movie, and I just never really took to them at all. They've been like, you could have done something better than this. You didn't need any of this actually, but like,
so it wasn't like Guardians. It wasn't like Guardians soundtrack.
No. But there's a little connection there, and you're just like, okay, when it comes back, see, that's the thing is there's a lot of really good payoffs in the movie, because sometimes there was a lot of things I'm just like, why is this here? This isn't even whatever. And then later on, it does kind of come back without getting into spoilers. So I guess I was like, oh, okay, so it kind of pays off at the end in some ways.
That's good. That's good.
98Z. 8H. 74D. 44T.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. So what he's doing there is he's calling out moves to the guy.
I got it.
Say who it is.
Yeah. No. Yeah, because because
he's studied Superman so well that he knows.
Yeah, that
his every
knows
move.
what to counter him. Yeah, it's fun. That's why I was looking forward to talking to y'all, because there are a lot of people who are still pushing politics. They were talking about a war that he was trying to stop and trying to compare it to real life, and they're like, Gunn is sending a secret message.
No,
I was like, thank God. God.
You could draw some parallels to everything from the Ukraine to the Palestine thing. But again, I could also probably draw parallels from 12 other skirmishes in the Middle East from the last 30, 40 years.
Yeah, there was nothing direct. There was nothing on the nose. It was, and honestly, even the conflict in the movie isn't even really about the conflict itself. It's more about what Lex wants. So it's kind of it's anything you've heard that is goofy like that is politics or social whatever.
Someone
it's all
pushing an
bullshit.
agenda. Someone pushing
It's
an
all
agenda.
bullshit, man. None of that happens in the film.
In fact, the actually instigating event that sets everything off doesn't even happen on screen. It happens before the movie starts.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm glad to hear that.
Now, here's the thing. I will say this. I think because I keep hearing like people mention that, they nerfed him. No, Superman is still Superman. He's still the strongest human.
He's just not overpowered like
person on Earth. He's just not like super overpowered where nothing could touch him, nothing could hurt him. Which is even dumb because in all the other movies, he's been hurt before. He's been beaten before. He got beaten Batman versus Superman.
Right.
Batman beat him, right? So at least, dude, I mean, Batman beat him, a human, right? At least he doesn't get beat by a human in this movie.
And I think they did a pretty good, you're right, Verl, and I think he did a pretty good job of paying attention to what gives him his power, what can take away his power, what he needs if something were to happen, and that's very well handled, and I like that he's not completely overpowered, like he could just, destroy the Earth with one punch, right? Like, I mean, come on. I mean, if that's the case, then he's never going to, nothing means shit in any fight.
Well, kryptonite has always been.
Well, even kryptonite comes up, but it sets him up to where it doesn't necessarily have to be kryptonite, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Like if he gets beaten,
even in the film, kryptonite is not common. It's not like it's not everywhere. You know what I mean? Like it's
not like it was in the first movie where they went to just out of Sababa and picked it up. Yeah,
here, let's go get it.
Oh, are we going to Addis Ababa?
But that's good to hear. So if you had to rate it, the last question, then we'll move on. If you had to rate it of Superman, of your favorite, where would you put it? Like Reeves?
For me, it's not. Look, I mean, Reeves it's hard because Reeves is a different category. We all grew up with Reeves. That was our Superman for so long. I would definitely put him like second to Reeves.
So above Cavill.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, as far as Superman goes,
yeah. I'm not talking about the actor. I'm talking about the character.
Body Superman a little bit better for me. And I like Tyler Hoechlin a lot, and I would almost put them side by side a little bit.
Because I like Tyler's.
I like Tyler Hoechlin a lot.
Yeah, I do. Really good. I can't wait to see Mr. Terrific. How did Hawk Girl do?
She was okay. She was fine. She was a support. Nothing special really. The actress who played her, and she's getting big now. She's getting very popular. She was in The Last of Us. She's been in a few other things I've seen. So she's getting up there, but she was just a good support, and she was no Nathan Fillion or the guy who played Mr. Terrific, but she was fine.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing the actor who played Mr. Terrific in anything else.
He was in X-Men First Class.
Yeah,
that was like.
Wait a minute. He's the one who can take in
Darwin. Yeah.
Yeah, like the scales or whatever.
Badass actor. He is a badass actor. I have seen him in two other things.
And he won me over in the film too, right? Because at first you're just like, oh, he's going to be that ultra cool guy. But then as the movie goes along, and like I said, he's kind of the only other character of that group that's kind of the secondary role. Like when I pointed out, like how the good guy always has a cop friend who kind of trusts him when nobody else does. He kind of fulfills that. And I actually brought it up last night. It's like, it's funny because he basically fills the role that Batman normally would. But since they didn't drag in all the other Justice League members, like it's kind of better that way. Because otherwise I think it'd be too distracting if we had too many Justice League members in this movie, if that makes sense. Yeah. So I know some people are like, oh, it's too packed with characters. I'm like, no, it's actually packed with the right characters. Because if they were Batman and the Flash and Wonder Woman, I think we'd be too distracted by them. And we'd be like, wait a minute, let's get back over there with the Flash. Or what the fuck's Batman doing? Right? Because at that point, then they're just secondary characters here. And since they're not like, big name superheroes, we're not as distracted by them as much. But when they're there, it's like, oh, yeah, I like this guy. I'm starting to really like him. Or, even Guy Gardner started growing on you. And Hot Girl, she's fine. She doesn't get much time, but it's kind of like the same thing with Jimmy Olsen. Fucking loved his character. Thought he was great. I mean, and then you got
they did a great job with Jimmy Olsen, man.
Yeah, really. Kat's kind of wasted a little bit, but then you got like Miss Tessmacher, who's used very well.
Yeah,
very well in the film. Yes.
Yeah. And here's the other thing: James Gunn does not shy away from making women sexy in this movie. There are
Yeah, my only
sexy
complaint-
ass women in this movie, man.
My only
And-
complaint is he made Lois Lane look a little like whatever, but he was going like this punk rock kind of nerdy look with her. I
But
think
she
is what was
still
going
looked
on
good.
there. She still
Yeah,
looked
she did.
good, but I'm like, why did they pick those pants? Like,
but Cat Grant, oh my gosh, she was hot.
yeah, too bad she wasn't in the movie a bit more, but yeah.
Seriously.
That's good news. Hot women, no woke.
And they
Yeah.
look like they were
No
ripped
poli-
right out of the comics in most cases. So like, yeah.
I can't wait till tomorrow. Cannot wait till tomorrow. Well, of course, Marvel now is going to face a test with Fantastic Foreskins, and they've spent the last 24 hours promoting the hell out of it. They seem to keep pushing Vanessa Kirby to the front, and she's been giving these interviews. They were in Berlin.
You know what? At this point, though, man, I'd rather her than Pedro Pascal.
I agree. Except for what she's saying, I agree with you completely. Because Pedro, we're going to see
Well-
what Peepe's up to in a second.
That's one good thing we can say about Superman is that Pedro Pascal is not in it.
Thank God.
And I think we're getting to that point where they have to start putting a little like thing in front of movies is that no Pedro Pascals were used in the making of this film.
No. Yes, Pedro's were hurt in the making this movie. That's why he's not in it.
Because he wasn't in it. Yeah.
Like, Mr. Yeah, I love that.
And that's what women can do. And honestly, she taught me that. And I'm going through my own journey with it right now. And I get emotional sometimes thinking about the fact that I lived through that. And I had these three incredible men by my side who just, you know, in the movie metaphorically, but also in life,
I would say two men. Okay, just
were just totally there with me and didn't, you know, I wasn't Sue or I was never sidelined because of that. And I think in the, you know, conditioning and over the centuries.
I guess I should have given it a setup. What she's going on to, because it takes too long from the last video, she goes on for 20 minutes to basically say she was pregnant during the making of the movie, and she was proud that she was pregnant during the making of the movie because her character is pregnant in the movie, and she wants to show how women are no longer bound by the constraints of centuries, where when they got pregnant, they had to stay home, you know, and actually take care of themselves, take care of the baby, that she was able to work. And I'm like, yeah, that's fantastic. So she was pushing this entire feminist message. And then, of course, you had, as we said, it wouldn't be a week anymore without Mr. Peeds. So Peeds decided to share his opinion when a reporter had asked him about the film. He decided to throw something else out because they had asked him, what is the movie saying at its heart? This is Mr. Peepee's answer.
It's important to, you know, protect people and human beings, especially those that are simply asking for the right to exist in the bodies that belong to them and in the world that they never asked to be brought into. And it's a very, very small, vulnerable, inspiring, courageous, and brave community that fills me with a lot of inspiration. And so, therefore, I think that, you know, it's very important to protect that in humanity. They would do that for us.
So that was his idea to, as part of how to push the movies to talk about the trans agenda.
I've seen this. There is a clear, and it's not just with this. There's this, all of a sudden, there's this mass panic again. It's like they hit the reset button and we're back to 2014, 15, 16 again. Because he's talking his smack. You got Charlize Theron out there saying the same fucking shit that women have been saying for the last every once in a while. Like, it's so sad when a man can be in an action film and it flops and they get another shot, but a woman does it and she doesn't. How many times have we heard the same fucking rhetoric over and over? It's like, no, it's not the way it is, lady. Guess what? It's just, it's the.
I have that.
I
have that. No, I'm glad you brought it up. I have it teed up.
I just thought it reminded me of that. Sorry.
No,
yeah.
it did. But you also had Katee Sackhoff who went off this week. And I like Katee Sackhoff. So I don't know what she was smoking, what she was drinking, or if she wants to up her Q rating. But let me play the Fantastic Four clip first. They released this a couple of hours ago. I really just don't think by everything that y'all are sharing. I don't know what the numbers are. I don't know what they're saying for the box office projections for Superman this weekend. But if word of mouth is what it is, even as divided, it looks like it's going to be a hit. I don't know how well F4 is going to do. Was it packed when you went, Verbal?
For Superman?
Yeah.
Yeah, very packed.
What about you, Tom?
Like, I mean, it was sold out, basically.
Yeah, everything but the breakneck seats, basically.
Gotcha.
Where you got to sit like...
Yeah.
Because it was IMAX, so yeah.
Now, keep in mind that there were 5 clips that I'm not going to show you. I'm going to spare you, where we had Vanessa Kirby talking about feminism and being empowered. And when you watch this new clip that they released.
Are you the protectors of this world?
Yes, we are.
Your planet is now marked for death. Your world will be consumed by the Devourer. There is nothing you can do to stop him, for he is a universal force, as essential as the stars. Hold your loved ones close, and speak the words you've been afraid to speak. Use this time to rejoice and celebrate, for your time is short. I herald his beginning, I herald your end, I herald Galactus.
That's it. That is it. And then we have the, I don't know.
V'ger must know the answer.
Feature. I'm never one to want anything to fail. I want it to be good because I want to get out of the crap that we're in. But this one just doesn't feel it. And talking about, because you're bringing up Charlize Theron, I'm going to jump first to Katee Sackhoff. Katee Sackhoff released this week. I don't know if you saw this one, Verbal.
I have not.
So what she shares first, she shares a picture from a photo shoot from her days on Battlestar. You know, she goes through, it's her and Trisha. And then she decides to say, if I could go back in time, I wouldn't just hug this young woman. I'd shake her awake. This shoot broke something in me. I've mentioned it before, but here's the raw truth. A wardrobe person called me the big girl out loud, like it was normal, like it was fine to say that to someone's face. I was handed one outfit because nothing else would fit my massive 6'8" frame. I felt humiliated, exposed, disgusting. The worst part, this wasn't rare. It was everywhere, baked into the industry, normalized, passed off as part of the job. I was 25, just hoping to be seen for my work, not defined by my body. When I look at this photo, I don't see sexy. I see a kid holding back tears, pretending to be okay, trying not to fall apart. And I believed them. I believed I was the big girl because I'd been hearing it since I was 17. Quiet judgments, whispers, a studio exec telling my manager I needed to lose weight. It was always there. This shoot wasn't the first time. It was just the first time someone said it out loud so I could hear it. So I did what I always did, overtrained, deprived myself, punished my body, hoping it just shrank enough and I'd finally be enough. That woman, she probably forgot what she said 5 minutes later, but I never did. If I could go back now, I'd say, no, you don't get to define me. You don't get to shrink me. And you sure as hell don't get to act like I should be grateful for the bare minimum. I'd remind that 25-year-old she was Starbucks, strong, iconic, unapologetic, and she mattered, and I'm going to be sick. Why not just be grateful? She did what every actor and actress has to do, which is be in the best shape. Am I wrong there?
I don't know, man. Like maybe things were different back when she was doing it, but
what actor doesn't have to be in good shape? Like, if you're going off of your looks and then your talent.
Well, and especially because, I mean, when you figure the role she's played, man, like, I don't know if Starbuck required her being in, like, peak physical shape. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, I get they're supposed to be in the military and all that. And,
but
and she looked fine. But the thing is, it's like, yeah, you I'm sorry, but if you're playing any kind of action role, you got to look like somewhat like you look the part, right? You can have some fat ass.
Of course you can. You can't. You can, but my point is, does that feel real to you? It feels phony.
Well, look what the
virtue
guys
signaling.
have to go through, man. I mean,
Come on.
dude, Chris Pratt, all those guys to get ready for like, Star-Lord and to play those, and Chris Hemsworth. Those guys had to like not only work out like a madman, but go on these crazy like dangerous diets, right? Just to look fit. So it's
Hugh
not like
Jackman.
it's not like the men don't have to do it too.
Right, but you don't see them turn around. One day somebody called me big in my body. And Chris Pratt used to say how he was called fat all the time, but he didn't. He was making jokes out of it. He didn't write an entire manifesto. Do you know what? One day on Community, they told me that I was fat. Now I'm gonna give that fat boy a hug. I mean, it's.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think, and it's weird for like, I never thought she would be like.
I didn't either.
That actress to complain about stuff like that, but I don't know.
It's weird. Well, she doesn't have to worry anymore because there was a new video that came out 4 days ago that says she has absolutely nothing to worry about her beauty anymore because she's no longer the standard.
Longer the beauty. White women are no longer the beauty standard. White women are no longer the beauty standard. If we're going to dismantle white supremacy, we got to start there. Because the white man has made himself God, Jesus, and then he made the white woman the ideal woman. White women, you have been put up on a pedestal that you did not earn. You have been put in a position that we are all supposed to aspire to be for no fucking reason. And that is why our society is the way it is right now. We're just talking women to women. We grew up thinking we're supposed to aspire to be you. But in this moment right now, you guys have proven to be the lowest of the low. And I'm talking about our election. Yes, we had the No Kings parade. We had all the ICE protests. And we all shined a light on the Hispanics, their wrong voting practices. But we really, really, really need to come back to y'all. We need to come back to y'all.
Their wrong voting practices.
Where we are right now is because white.
Oh yeah. Anyway, you get the drift. She goes on and blames.
So what's her issue with white women? Let it finish. I'm sorry, I did not mean to interrupt.
No.
I don't even know. Like I tuned out like halfway through her fucking conversation.
Me too. I just perked up when she was saying shit about Hispanics. I'm like, hold up.
What she says is basically that white women took the standard. They didn't work for it. They were the beauty standard that all women were judged by. I'm like,
the beauty standard is just being fucking hot. That's
yeah, it's in standard. There you go. That's why I love you. It is. It's in the eye of the beholder. You look hot.
Hot is the beauty standard.
And it changes per culture. It changes per culture. What's hot here is different than what's in Greece and in India and in France. It is.
If anything, the white thing is just more of a cultural thing, or like, like it just was like, certain cultures would either aspire or want to be in a certain light of that. And I don't mean skin color, but I mean in that kind of like way back in the day, like, like they would emulate them. Otherwise, the other times it's like it just depends on the culture, like you just said. Other times there's no white in the culture whatsoever, so it's like, who cares?
Right, and she might have had a point, like say 50 years ago, right? 60 years ago, like she might have maybe not even that, because shit, I'm 50, so let's say like like 80 years ago, right?
That's what I'm saying now. Yeah,
she might have had a point, like there was an incentive to blend in, to fit in, right? And
right,
and that's why back in those times, like like the 30s and 20s, black folks would straighten their hair and do weird shit like that,
right. That's
because
what I was
they're
talking
trying to like assimilate, trying to like
fit
in. And also lighter skinned blacks did get a different treatment than darker skinned blacks. Like that was just a thing, and the lighter you were, and the more you passed, the more of a benefit it was to you back in those times, right? But for her to give
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, for her to give this weird ass speech, in 2025, she's trying to it's rage bait.
Absolutely.
But that's why
Verbal.
I'm saying, go ahead.
I was just saying, Verbal. That's exactly what I was getting at. Exactly that. And the thing is it's funny about this, and you mentioned your age, Verbal. It's kind of hard for us to sit down and think about this for a minute. We are as far away now from Vietnam and the civil rights movement as our parents were at our age from World War II.
Wow.
If you stop and think about it, as far as like how far away, and then you add in the other part of it. So like, go back to civil rights movement. It's like, yeah, these people are bitching about shit that is like 4 lifetimes ago in some cases.
Same thing. That's why I said it goes along with a Katee
And especially
Sackhoff.
seeing how young this chick looks, it's like, what struggle have you been through? Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I'm sorry.
Her biggest struggle is having to wait more than 10 minutes at fucking Starbucks.
I have such a hard time when I hear any of like these youngins like, complain about shit. It's like, y'all haven't been through anything. Right? Yeah. I mean, you talk all this shit, but you really haven't, man. You haven't seen real racism, right? You haven't seen like real shit. It's like, it's
It is. It's crazy, but this is what I'm saying. There's a pattern here, and Tom hinted on it earlier. As we're going to look at Charlize Theron is now saying the same thing that I heard in the fucking 2000s in the beginning.
Yep.
Theron calls out studios for not wanting to take a risk on female-led action movies. Since when? Her big complaint when you dig into the article is she basically makes a claim. Hold on, let me see it. Action films with son of a bitch. Action films with female leads don't get greenlit as much as the ones with male leads. I think that they always frustrate me is the fact that guys will get a free ride. I guess go ask Hugh Jackman that, who at his age still works out like a crazy to do it. Then she goes on, she continued, when women do this and the movie maybe doesn't hit fully, they don't necessarily get a chance again. With this, we were very aware that eyes were on us. She just did Old Guard 2. She's done 10 action films as a lead. Am I missing something? Why is everybody trying to go back in the past? That's
this is that old rhetoric, right? Like they keep saying this shit. It's like, yes, it works when it works, but no, it's not going to work every time. Just like it doesn't work every time for a guy.
Right.
But you're taking such a bigger risk. And now, of all times in history, is the absolute worst time to release a female-led action film.
Yep.
Because people see that and they instantly go, nope.
Go boss.
No mas. I'm done.
They overdid it because they overdid it. I mean,
exactly. They overdid it. They oversaturated it. And every one of them was such a girl bossy, man-hating fucking... whatever you want to insert here. I don't want to use the term bitch, but a lot of times they were. But then you get to movies like Furiosa and Ballerina, which probably aren't so bad, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Atomic
matter.
Blonde.
I'm surprised Jurassic World didn't suffer more from this, because to be honest with you, Charlize is a bit girl bossy in that movie. Or not Charlotte, Scarlett. Jesus.
Scarlett.
Can't even keep. I've gotten like 3 hours of sleep.
Tired. It's okay.
Night. So so Scarlett, she is a little girl bossy in the movie. Is she an overt girl boss like a lot of the shit we've seen? No, but she's a little girl bossy in the movie. She handles everything. She's the like. They even have a scene where the guy's like, "No, I'll shoot the dinosaur," and then she does this whole little bit to where basically he gives up, so he lets her shoot the dinosaur, right? Like there's things like that throughout the entire movie.
Well, that's
the thing is, we used to have great action films and all that stuff, but it was because we didn't get them shoved down our throat. You would do a Long Kiss Goodnight or a Le Femme Nikita or something like that every once in a while. Even like Natalie Portman in The Professional, for fuck's sake, is a little kid.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But it was just, it was one of those things where it was more of a, I don't want to use the term novelty, but it kind of was in a way. And
because it wasn't overdone. Right.
Exactly.
Like that's the thing. Like it wasn't just like constantly in your face. Right. And also, I don't know, man, correct me if I'm wrong. I just don't remember a time where I watched so many movies where these tiny little girls are beating down like grown-ass men. Like I don't remember that.
It didn't happen before. And when it did happen, like in La Femme Nikita, in the French version, I'm not talking about Point of No Return with Bridget Fonda. Yeah, that was a bad one. But in La Femme Nikita, you see the way they have her. She primarily uses her guns. Her beauty or her legs. And how does she do it? And you see her when she fights, she gets that crap pounded out of her. She's not just like, oh, I am woman, knock you over. We never used to have that.
I love Kill Bill is a great example of this, right? Because I was one of the first people to remind people when we lost Michael Madsen this last week. I'm like, what's funny about that? He's the only guy in the movie that beats B.
Yeah,
he's the only one, and nobody ever points that out. Usually, I'm usually the guy that brings that up. But like other than that, like if you notice, the guys are the only ones who really overpower her in the film. Bill does kind of overpower her a bit too. Of course, he cheats just like his brother does when he uses the shotgun full of salt pellets, you know. But like Bill, he just shoots her with the truth serum and shit like that, and takes her off guard with her kid. But like, at the end of the day, she's still vulnerable. She's still able to be beaten, and she's damn near killed how many times. But yeah, when she's fighting with the chicks, it's a totally different story, other than the crazy 88 scene, right? But again, and this is where I was having this conversation with somebody the other day about, you know, was it shot as a two-parter? And I was like, no, it was shot all as one, but it's inspired the way he splits it up. But I've seen the whole bloody affair, and the big difference is you realize that the first movie, or the first half, is her narration, right? So she's telling you. So this is her embellishing all this shit. And you get that in the second half when Michael Madsen's character goes, is there really 88 of them? And he's like, no, they just like to call themselves that because they think it sounds cool.
Yeah. Again, you brought up a good point. Even against Pao Mai, he beats the shit out of her in training.
Oh, yeah.
Every step is earned. That's the part that Hollywood forgot. You want to it's like ballerina. She earns her stripes there during her training. But you want to throw in these girls, like whether it's the Ahsoka or the Acolyte or in the Marvels, where they just start perfect.
Like The Long Kiss Goodnight, you know? I mean, she made that look really good.
Yep. Gina Davis was awesome. And just as a quick palate cleanser, since we have someone who doesn't mind sharing their sexuality or starting to celebrate Halloween soon, Kate Beckinsale. Looking crazy as usual.
I want to mute the song. I don't know if that's
What is that? Is this some LA thing that I don't know about?
She looks weird, dude. Like,
that's what
are these motherfuckers taking Ozempic when they don't need it?
I think so, man. That is a crackhead body, dude. Like, what the fuck?
Is this the new norm now in Hollywood? Is like, oh, I can be skinny and not eat anything, and also take Ozempic and get even skinnier.
It's the Ariana Grande look.
No, dude, that is seriously like a meth body. Like, what the hell happened to her?
Well, if you think that's something, we got one more before we
reach. Kate Beckinsale used to be hot, man.
Give her a sandwich.
She was, and I think she was inspired by another woman. And this is, she was inspired by another woman, and somebody who wants to be remembered again, but who has completely forgotten what it is to entertain. I know Verbal's going to know this one even before it. We brought this up. Madonna.
Oh, God.
Dami un grr.
Un qué?
Un grr.
Un qué?
Dami un tu ta ta tu ta tu.
Okay.
She wants to be the thing again. She's doing the what was
she refuses to accept her age, man.
She doesn't. Why didn't she just slowly transition in a new style of music?
That's why I will always respect. That's why I have so much respect for Pam Anderson, man. Because Pam was like, okay, I had my time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now it's time for me to look like, you know, my age.
Yep. And she does it great. Have you seen her? She was on a cover. She did her own cooking show, which of course Meghan Markle copied.
She looks like a normal woman.
Yep. And that's why it took off and is succeeding. But when I saw her, I first didn't realize, I'm like, that's Pamela Anderson, because she's now doing that kind of Jamie Lee Curtis without makeup.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize her first.
And I mean, she let it go. Madonna needs to let it go.
I don't think Madonna will ever let it go. I think she will be 95 and still stripping.
Well, she's already wearing diapers, man. Like it's over, dude. Like, just call it quits.
Yeah,
it's like watching a prize fighter who doesn't know when to end his career. It's like, dude,
it's sad.
You can't do it no more, man.
It's sad.
You can't take any more hits to the head.
Nope. No, not anymore. So, which brings us up to another point.
That's sexist because the Rolling Stones are 108 Verbal, and they can still
guys
sing.
Need to stop too. They needed to stop 40 years ago.
Okay, we're going to talk about that. We just had a king who bowed out. We had Ozzy Osbourne, right, with Parkinson's a week ago.
Oh, that was sad, man.
I know, but did you hear his voice? He still had it. You could tell he wanted to get up.
Yeah.
You could tell. Wait, I mean, I actually think I have clips because I was watching it. I wish I would have been there. And you
I saw
had
that. Like he sat
Yeah,
down
but
the whole concert, man.
Verbal's right though. There are some people who do need to learn to give it up because I loved Meatloaf growing up, but there was a point where I had a chance to go see him live, but I opted out of it because I'm like, no, I don't want to ruin that for myself because I was hearing how bad he was getting, at his age, and it's like,
yeah, but Ozzy had the voice. It's just,
if they still have the voice, that's one thing. Not a lot of these guys can hang on to that.
No, he has the voice. You can hear it. I'm going to play it now. I'll just clip it out after the live show.
Are you ready? I can't fucking hear you. Are you ready? Let me see those hands again.
Is that actually Black Sabbath playing with him, or is that a
Yes.
different group?
No, that's Black Sabbath. This is the last time. They had everybody there. Metallica, Guns N' Roses, and they were all kind of like paying honor to him in tribute. It was very good concert. Very good concert. But you could tell, again, he tried a couple of times to get up. It just...
Yeah, man. You hate to see it, though. You know
Yeah,
what I
I
mean?
do. I don't like to see that at all. But I'm trying to find the part where he's singing more clearly so you could hear his voice. No, it's the wrong clip. Hold on. There's the other one where you can hear him. I think, is it this one?
I mean, yeah, they had to down tune it a little bit, but not too bad.
Yeah,
No.
that wasn't bad.
No, he's got the chops. It's just he can't
do
perform. He can't perform anymore.
I mean, I'm even getting to the point now, man, because I saw Jane's Addiction 6 months ago.
Really? How were they?
And they looked good, they sound good, but man, like, you could see them kind of getting up there, and I'm just like, I don't want to reach the point where the bands that I loved, just can't do it no more. Like where it's just sad to watch.
Yeah.
Eddie Vedder's getting up there, man, because I go to a Hana Fest every year, and he still has it, but he's not as Eddie as he used to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, how he maintains his Eddiness is simply with he needs a Catwoman in his life. This lady decided to share how she is the new Catwoman.
Oh, dear God.
Have no fear.
That is a whole lot of leather, man.
Is here.
And not only that, it's one of the worst Catwoman outfits.
It is.
Catwoman, that looks like a trash bag, dude. Like,
Yeah, that's more like trash bag outfit.
She looks like fucking Missy Elliott, man, in that one video, dude.
Poor bike. I just said poor bike. Hold on a second.
Poor bike.
Eric gave for $10. She straightened and lightened her hair. Oh, that's from the woman who said white isn't the beauty standard anymore. Beauty is beauty. It comes in all shades. Amazing how no matter how beautiful you are on the outside, if inside you are horrible, it diminishes the outside. It does.
Yeah.
That woman was beautiful. It's her mouth was so ugly with her words that it actually changed you. You don't want to go out with some nutbag like that.
You know what, I know not every woman is like that. I don't like
No.
to use generalities, man.
Of course not. That's
But I do kind of feel for some of these younger guys out here, man, who have to deal with this shit. Because I'm old. I'm like, I'm not dealing with that. But I know these young guys, they're trying to get laid. I get it. But this is the shit they got to put up with now.
Yeah, but you think you would have put up with that when you were 25?
Man, there's a lot you'll put up with when you're trying to get laid back. When you're
I'm
young
a fat kid. I had to put up with a lot of shit when I was 25. I have to put up with a lot of shit now.
When you're young, dude, even if you're like super good looking at 25, you got to put up with a lot of shit.
I never put up with that kind of shit. I did once, which was the woman that I married and I quickly divorced.
Yeah, no, that's a young man's game.
It is.
I won't tolerate it.
Yeah, you can. It's just nuts today. It's just nuts. Hold on.
But this is the mentality of these young girls, man. That's what I'm saying. I feel for these young guys out here because they got to deal with this shit.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it is pretty crazy. Jens for 200 Danish kroner, so no female lead action movies. Angelina Jolie, Sigourney Weaver, Gina Davis, Cynthia Rothrock. Hell yeah, Cynthia Rothrock. Lucy Lawless, Michelle Yeoh. But what do we know? See, again, they forget.
Cynthia Rothrock still looks good.
She does.
She still
100%.
looks good, which is crazy.
I think we need a Cynthia Rothrock fest. Most definitely. Blitzen is here. How you doing, my good friend Blitzen? Gifted 5 Georgia Giant Slayer memberships. Please go thank Blitzen. Thank you. Thank you. I love it. And Adam Zand, Alice Cooper still going strong. You know who I saw was, unless I'm wrong, I saw Iggy Pop at a concert online.
I'm not surprised.
A couple of weeks ago. Except he didn't look good. Voice, incredible.
Oh, that guy's like a living skeleton at this point.
Yeah, he did not age well. Here's another piece of news that just came out. I wanted to see what you guys thought about it. As we slowly start winding down, Danai Gurira joins Michael B. Jordan in the Thomas Crown Affair remake. When I first saw this, I'm like, I don't want another remake. I like Michael Jordan. Any thoughts?
You know what? I'm not opposed because Thomas Crown isn't like
No, I don't care about the race swap. I'm talking about remaking.
Oh, the remake.
Tired of remakes?
But,
I want something original.
I feel like again though, Thomas Crown isn't a movie that everybody really like.
It's got 3 of them, don't it?
Remembers or holds dear. Like I don't know. Like it's a franchise where they have room to play around a little bit. You know what I mean?
Steve McQueen, Pierce Brosnan.
Right. No. They're great films, but what I'm saying is like they don't hold the resonance that like say James Bond or something. You know what I mean? A franchise like that would have. So
I want some original stuff like Sinners, which I can't believe is now streaming on HBO.
I think they could have just called it a different name and it not even be the Thomas Crown Affair. But
yeah, and they're also doing the Italian Job again.
Wow, really? Another one?
Yeah, another one. And One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is getting a television series.
Oh, well, they already had one, right? Nurse Ratched, wasn't that?
They're doing it on Chief Ben. Oh, fuck. What's his name? Tom would know this off the top of his head. Here it is. It's
Chief new ideas, man.
That's why I'm saying that was in the context that I was talking about the Thomas Crown Affair. It's like everybody's going back to the well. Here it is. Official One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest spin-off series in the works from the point of view of Chief Bromden. From Chief Bromden. I just not happy about that. Plus, HBO greenlit 8 hours ago Big Bang Theory spin-off.
Good luck with that.
Yes, except they're marvelizing it. They're getting the guy from a comic book store to blow up something of one of the main characters, Sheldon, and he goes in an alternate dimension.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah, Dark Hierophant, I can hear you. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is a classic. I love it. And Stewart, yes, Mecca J. Stewart gets his own spin-off.
They are literally out of ideas.
They are. And
who's going to watch that shit, though?
I have no idea. I didn't even know there were other spin-offs. And I found out that there was a spin-off, a Sheldon show. No idea. Here's something else. The studios now, I guess I'll wait for Tom to get back. Tom, are you there? Studios are now pissed at the cinemas.
For what?
Ad-filled pre-shows, as AMC warns, because they're now going to be 30 minutes. They're saying 25 to 30 extra minutes, but the studios have been doing their research. Let me go down here. They're saying the studios have recently discovered that the AMC is providing notice to their ticket buyers to please allow 25 to 30 extra minutes for trailers and additional content before movie starts. You're supposed to have 10 minutes of what they call, where is it? Newbie or UB? Newbie. Here it is, Newbie shows. Before the trailer starts, you get bombarded with the Newbie show, television commercials, plus the additional 20 minutes of trailers and non-industry commercials, which air after the movie's posted time. So the studios are saying that what they're discovering is this. There's a greater concern at play here, and that the moviegoers are put off by the pre-show to the point that they're arriving and skipping all the movie trailers now, one of the most powerful forms of studio marketing for a title. Quite often, post-track audience exits cite that in-movie trailers are the most influential forms of marketing to a moviegoer. A majority of moviegoers at 22% said the in-theater trailer for Mission Impossible Final Reckoning convinced them to buy a ticket. You go down here and it states, one rival studio recently measured the attendance during a pre-show for Sony's 28 Years Later at a Chicago AMC theater and found that during a 30-minute pre-show after the movie's listed showtime, only 20% of the audience were in their seats.
Yeah, this is the common thing I'm hearing mostly from a lot of folks. Now, sorry, I did step away for there.
No. Yeah.
But like, yeah, more and more often I'm hearing, I don't show up till 20, 30 minutes after showtime because I know that I'm still going to have to sit through another 5-10 minutes of, whether you're going to AMC, you got to sit through the become a part of AMC stubs today and da-da-da-da-da-da. And then you got to sit through fucking, what's her face doing her spiel and all that kind of shit. It's like, who wants to say? Last night I started getting pissed because normally these preview screenings like this, they don't have a bunch of shit before the movie starts. And a lot of other people I talked to that saw it didn't have a bunch of trailers. I had to sit through like another good fucking 10, 15 minutes of fucking trailers before this started. And I was kind of pissed.
Yeah,
it's
so,
like,
so did I.
Yeah, okay. It's like, look, and it wouldn't be such a big deal, but here's the biggest problem of them all. We've seen these trailers 200 fucking times now online. Yeah. Back in the day when we used to go see movies in the theater, you didn't see trailers all the time everywhere, except for maybe on video and television, because we didn't have the internet.
No.
So chances are you probably didn't see that trailer yet when you went to see a movie in the theater. So that was kind of a new experience. Now you've seen all this shit. You've seen all these commercials too on top of it, because they're not even special commercials made for theaters. Oh no, they're the same fucking commercials you see on TV or on YouTube every day. So it's like, who wants to sit through the same shit they can watch at home on their phone? It makes absolutely no sense. Now, yeah, part of it's great because you can get there and you don't have to rush in, because maybe if you want to get popcorn or what have you, or if you're somebody like me who always ends up getting late somehow, some way, shape, or form, that's benefit, right? But at the end of the day, I think it is turning people off. Who wants to sit through a half-hour fucking commercials? Nobody.
Yeah, but who's going to win the battle? That's what I want to know. The studios say they want it to stop because they're losing premium marketing space.
Well, here's the thing, man. Right now, there's basically like this unspoken war between the studios and the movie theaters, right? Like the theaters are trying to survive any way they can. The studios, they always want to get their way. So it's kind of like who's going to win in the end. The problem is if the theaters close, the studios, what are they going to do? They're fucked, right? So there has to be some kind of give. I hate the fact that we get these stupid commercials. I remember watching a movie where in between trailers, the previews, there was commercials. In between the trailers, I'm like, what are we doing, right? But I get that's what they have to do to keep the doors open. Unfortunately, it's look, man. I think in the long run, the outcome is there's going to be less movie theaters. There just are like they can't sustain this. They can't sell enough popcorn buckets to keep the doors open. So they got to do something.
Right, but when I saw,
gonna last forever.
Pretty soon you're going to see like topless girls giving you popcorn.
That's what I was about to say. You're going to get this. When I saw F1, I got 15 minutes of hair salon commercials, like your local. Go check out this hair salon ad, and then the trailer started. Because before that, I'd get there and it would just be the trailers. I'd always arrive right when the trailers were starting because I want to see them on the big screen.
No, I'm telling you, pretty soon you're going to see girls in lingerie serving you popcorn, right? Like that's going to be the next step.
Yeah, well, what's left when you think about it? Susan Suave, Rico Suave for £5. Love the show, George. Well, hey, welcome aboard. Thank you for that. Watch any show that Verbal is on and love me, Tom.
Thank you so much, my friend.
Question. Is the narrative and story better than Man of Steel? I liked Cavill, but not a Man of Steel fan. Who wants to go first?
For me, I think I like the story better in this film, but I do like what they did with Man of Steel. Like, there's a lot of things about Man of Steel I really liked.
Okay.
And honestly, it's really the only one from the Snyderverse that I actually really like. I only like Man of Steel for the most part. Wonder Woman was all right. But no, I thought the story was better in this because it felt more like a comic book. It felt more like something I would watch on like Justice League Unlimited or
Good.
Just one of those, cartoons, right? Like it felt like that, but in a more adult way, obviously. You know what I
So
mean?
it's better than Superman Returns.
Oh God, for me, yes, because
Okay.
I did not like Superman Returns at all. I like Brandon Routh. I think he got a raw deal.
He did.
But that's not the movie that he needed.
No, too bad he got screwed with it. Tom, what about you? You about that question?
What was the question?
The question is.
Oh yeah, I hate
the
Man of
narrative.
Steel.
Oh, okay. There you go. Well, that's pretty easy.
That's no secret. I hate almost everything about the Snyderverse, even the stuff after when Snyder wasn't even involved. Obviously, like to me, it's a tainted pool. Henry Cavill looked great in the part.
Mm-hmm.
I will, concede he never really got to play the role all that much or anything like that. But to me, he just didn't have the twinkle that a lot of the other Supermen had. And Corn Sweat has that for me. I mean, to me, yeah, it's.
Yeah, I think he got screwed by Snyder there. I think he
Definitely.
had
I mean, he never really got a chance to shine. That's for sure. But I mean, he's got other opportunities on the horizon. I think he's going to knock it out of the park with Highlander.
Yeah,
he's got other stuff he's working on. So
I hope he does. Flying blind on a rocket cycle. Always love seeing you here for $2. Trailers used to be a fun thing. They were my second favorite thing after the movie. It's like trailers, then movie.
Yeah.
I think everybody can agree.
But that was before we got every trailer on YouTube already.
Yeah, that's my point. Yeah, like
know,
it was a
you
little
don't
different back then.
But you don't feel different when it's on that massive screen. It kind of when it's really good. Yeah, it gives you that little extra.
Sometimes, yeah. If that or they need to find a way to make ones that are specific only to theaters. I know eventually they'll leak online, but I mean,
no, but Tom, I totally agree with that. Absolutely, there needs to be a separate trailer just for the theater.
That would be great because then it would be a real surprise. One not leaked, not shared on YouTube. I would be down with that completely. Well, you know the fact that the trailer for Project Hail Mary hit 400 million views this morning. It's the most views for a trailer for a non-sequel or remake.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. It was pretty cool. Flying blind on a rocket cycle with another $5. Caught up with today's Midnight's Edge show. Went from being cautiously hopeful about soups to kind of looking forward to it. I'm in the same boat with you. Same boat. Flying blind on a rocket cycle for another $5. Hell yeah. I'll take lingerie and popcorn. Verbal is Brian.
I'm telling you, man, it's an idea. It's out there.
It'll work. Well, they've already said they're going to do pot and gummies.
Look, man, I am an herbal enthusiast, but I don't want to sit in a movie theater full of potheads, dude. Like, I don't want to be in the theater like where everybody's smoking weed. Okay, like gummies, fine, but I don't want everybody smoking weed.
I got you. I hear.
I don't want my clothes reeking of weed when I get out of a fucking movie.
Of course not. But you will like to take the lingerie with you when the women walk around.
Is a different.
Yeah. I agree with you. Here's the full cast list now for The Odyssey. It was released today. Everyone. So you got Tom Holland, Matt Damon, Zendaya again, Anne Hathaway, Lupita Nyong'o, Robert Pattinson, Charlize Theron, John Bernthal, Benny Safdie, who I don't remember, Himesh Patel I've seen, Paige, Bill Irwin, Samantha Morton, brilliant actress. Not fucking John Leguizamo.
I know.
He's like a Pedro. Logan Marshall Green.
He's like a Pedro who doesn't get roles.
There you go. Oh my God, it's is that the guy from Suicide Squad? It is. William Lee, Jesse Garcia, Mia Goth, Corey Hawkins.
Mia Goth, she's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I had to tell you, there was the Bride of Frankenstein is coming out soon. Skarsgård and Gyllenhaal are doing it, but there were reviews. They got $100 million to make that. It's called The Bride.
Really?
They've made it a musical, and they say it will divide everyone. So I'm like, well, why the fuck would you make it?
Like, what does that even mean?
I don't know. It's called The Bride. And both the writer of the article, speaking to Peter Sarsgaard, they were like, so what do you think about this? He says it's going to divide people because it's something they've never seen. It's The Bride of Frankenstein. We're calling it The Bride, but we're doing it as a musical.
I mean, I don't know if The Bride is going to divide. Look, I look. There's certain things you shouldn't mess with. Certain classics you shouldn't ever try to redo. The Bride isn't one of them. The Bride, you have a little wiggle room to kind of play around with, right? Like you don't have to be, married to the source material with The Bride of Frankenstein. I think it's so far removed from like our consciousness that they can
mess with it.
Yeah, they can mess with it a little bit. Like I don't. There's not a diehard.
Yeah, everybody's going for Frankenstein.
Like, it's not a
I don't
diehard
know.
fan base for The Bride of fucking Frankenstein.
The Bride of Frankenstein actually is more popular than the original Frankenstein. Most people will argue it is the best Universal horror film. Yes,
but I don't know if there's a huge.
But when I hear The Bride, I think of the Sting movie that is basically a remake of The Bride of Frankenstein from the 80s. So is this a musical remake of that?
They didn't say. It's The Bride with Peter Sarsgaard and his wife Maggie Gyllenhaal, and they got $100 million. And the writer at World of Re was like, "Who the fuck gave them $100 million for a musical of The Bride of Frankenstein?"
Well, and the thing is, The Bride of Frankenstein is technically still Frankenstein. It's just the second half of the book.
Gotcha.
Right? Like that's the thing. When they made Frankenstein, they just kind of took part of the story and left the rest out. And then they made the rest of it in Bride of Frankenstein. That's like in Kenneth Branagh's Frankenstein. It's the whole story. It's just put into one story finally, like it is in the book. Because her story was embellished more so, I guess, kind of in Bride of Frankenstein. Well, it's still, she's not even in the movie that much in Bride of Frankenstein either.
Right.
It's just, but the how she's made and all that stuff, yeah.
They explain why it is, they explain, I believe, why it's controversial. Hold on one second.
Yeah, I guess that was my question too, is why is it so-called controversial? Is it because the bride is a guy and Frankenstein was,
I don't know. We'll pull it up here.
Or the monster, I should say.
Well, the bride might be trans. That's the thing.
That's what I was wondering too. Like it's made up of male and female parts or something.
Exactly.
It says Peter Sarsgaard expects Maggie Gyllenhaal's The Bride to be controversial. Back in March, we reported that early test screenings for the film were met with mixed, if not outright puzzled responses. Puck's Matt Maloney echoed the sentiment, expressing disbelief at how Warner Brothers signed off on a $100 million musical from a filmmaker whose only prior directing credit is The Lost Daughter. That film, though critically acclaimed, was a far cry from the high budget. And it goes on, it's hard to tell. Wait, here it is. In an interview with Deadline, cast member Peter Sarsgaard, who's married to Gyllenhaal, added a curious wrinkle, hinting that the film might stir controversy upon release. It's very punk. Here, that's what he says. It's radical in some ways, and the main characters in it are imperfect. That's pretty much it. It says it was shot in New York. It's a modern riff-off on The Bride of Frankenstein. It includes Sarsgaard, Christian Bale, Annette Bening, Penelope Cruz, John Mulaney, and Jake Gyllenhaal. Sounds like a stellar cast, but
yeah,
I don't know when an actor tells you that it's going to be controversial and kind of divide people. That worries me, especially after Ruin Johnson. And as we start to wind down, here is also the cast list for the reboot, which I never thought it would get rebooted because was it needed? Of the Street Fighter movie. Jason Momoa is in it, and a bunch of wrestlers. Jason Momoa is playing Blanca. Andrew Koji.
Oh, don't forget 50 Cent's in there too.
Yep,
and a gay cowboy.
He is. 50 Cent is playing Balrog. Cody
You forgot
Rhodes.
the gay cowboy too. Yeah, don't forget that.
Ooh, what are you talking about?
That would be Vega's character. He's a gay country singer. And I know that because they keep pointing it out every time they bring him up.
Wait,
and I looked it up.
Is this really the cast?
Yeah, it is. Yep, this is the cast. The problem is they're having David Dastmalchian as Bison, who was played by Raul Julia. That doesn't.
And I do like that actor, but man, he is like if they're trying to take this serious, he's not Bison, man. You gotta. Bison is way bigger. You gotta at least be. Look, you cast all these wrestlers, and then you cast him as Bison.
Yeah, no, that doesn't make sense.
I'm sorry, I don't remember any of it.
And they said
it was Tuesday.
They said 50 Cent is going to do all his own stunts. He's training now.
Wait, who is 50 Cent playing? Balrog?
Balrog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The boxer guy.
He's way too old to play that part, man.
He's playing
like, he's not a young man, dude. Like, what the fuck?
I know, but that's it.
I hope they don't make it a joke, man. Like,
You know what's sad is like, yeah, the fact that the original one was a joke, and that'll probably turn out being the better of the two.
And I'm a
Raul
huge
Julia.
Street Fighter fan, man. I've literally had every single game, dude. Like this is crazy, man. I look, you waited this long to give us a Street Fighter movie, and you're gonna make it a joke.
Right. I know. I liked
That's
Raul
what they did the
Julia.
first time, man. I mean,
Yeah, that first one with Van Damme was fucking awful.
well, no, the director was making a satire on purpose, and then the studio made him cut down a lot of. So it would have been more batshit crazy and in your face like goofiness had the studio not stepped in. But like it was chock full of the
All right, we're gonna look at this
goofy
last
shit.
thing and then one clip, and we're out of here. The FTC.
And it's hard to be a fighting game fan, man.
It is. They keep fucking it up.
At least Mortal Kombat 2 looks like it might be decent. We'll see.
That's what I keep hearing.
I haven't seen that yet. I'm gonna have to check it out.
Carl Urban. So.
Oh, I like Carl Urban, so I'm always behind anything.
That's what I mean. They got a decent cast, and I heard this time they're actually going to let Colby Scorpion like the original script ended. So yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. Does that mean they're also going to bring in Lambert back?
His character's already in the first one.
Oh, probably not.
They have not. He's a little old, and I don't know if they
Raiden was
really.
Asian in the last game. I mean, the last movie. I mean,
Yeah,
so.
they haven't really had any like cameos or anything like that I can recall from the original film.
Yeah, Alex, I loved Raul Julia in Street Fighter. I thought he gave a great performance. I loved all his performances.
That was his last performance, which is crazy.
Yeah,
I think that movie killed him, to be honest with you.
It probably did.
Why do you say that?
Well, he was sick just before he started shooting, and the studio, I don't know if they misunderstood what was going on, but he had surgery, and they moved all his shooting up front when they should have pushed it off till the end.
Okay.
Because he was sick still from the surgery. And then not only that, what I think kind of probably hurt him more so was when he come in and the costume people like freaked out because none of his costumes fit from because they did the costume fittings months before he got sick. And then by the time he got sick and recovered, he'd lost a shit ton of weight.
Right.
And so they had given him a special diet to bulk up. So I'm just not sure he ever got back to being healthy. He never got a chance to recover, is my point. So like them pushing, and that's the thing is that even the director's like, this guy is about ready to fall over. I can't keep it. So he pushed as much of his shooting as he could off to the end, but I still don't think that was enough for him. I think he shouldn't have done the movie, period, is what it should have been.
Which is the one, Tom, the film he did with Richard Dreyfuss, where Richard Dreyfuss was an actor who had to play like a colonel or a king of some like South American island or Central American island. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know, and I can't think of the fucking name now.
Where he actually became really good at it, and he's like, I can make changes to the country. And Raul Julia was like the kind of like the power behind the throne. It was like, what the hell are you doing? Yeah, I can't remember the name of it.
Moon Over Parador. I was gonna say that's what it is, but yeah, I wasn't sure. But yep, yeah, I haven't seen that in years.
Yeah, I used to enjoy it. Here's the thing: the FTC is now fucking, pardon my language, wants to mess with the way we stream. Not us streaming, the subscription services. A federal appeals court on Tuesday struck down the FTC's click to cancel rule, which would have required companies to provide users with simple cancellation mechanisms to immediately halt all recurring charges and get their consent to convert auto renewals and free trials to paid enrollments. Bottom line, instead of going through this whole damn article, they don't want it. The companies, Netflix, Amazon, went to court and said they're pissed because they could lose a lot of revenue. It should not be easy, they said, for you to cancel as it is to sign up. And so the FTC is giving them an opportunity. What do you think about that? I'm pissed. I'm like, we should be able to sign up or cancel whenever the hell we want to. I don't think Netflix or Amazon should be able to tell us how or when we're part of their service.
This is the last place we have any power over them yet, and I've said this a few times now. I think that before too long, they're going to switch over to a subscription-only service. It's going to be just like cable all over again.
Yeah.
Remember, when you signed up for cable or satellite, you were always signed into a 6-month, 2-year, whatever fucking package. And I think that's what they're going to pull with some of these streaming services now if this happens.
Yeah.
Well, if they do that, I'm out.
I agree. It came up
Well,
today.
that's the thing is because you can bounce around now. Like that's the freedom we have is you can cancel them. But
the churn is killing them. That's what they were talking about.
Yep.
And they're saying the process that the FTC originally looked at this cancel rule did not consider the appropriate damages to them because it was limited at 100 million per company. And they're saying it's more. So they're saying the process was incorrect when the FTC looked at it. I think it's ridiculous. I don't know how many. I think there are more people now who are subscribed to streaming services than there are cable. Yeah, this was something under the Trump FCC, which has pissed me off because I support him, but that really got my goat.
There's been a few things that have pissed me off about Trump in the last couple of weeks. I will be honest, but
it happens. It happens.
This Epstein thing is not
It really has. We were going to talk about it. I was just going to refer to it as fantasy. I was going to refer to it as Fantasy Island. Yeah, because YouTube, man, I've seen channels get nuked when they talk about it a lot. So, what do you think about Fantasy Island yesterday? I'm not buying it. I don't think anybody else is buying it.
The plane, boss.
Did that piss you off, or you just don't give a shit?
I think I don't know what's going on, man. I think a lot of faith has been lost on this administration from the people who voted for him. My thing is, I never expected that list would ever come out. I know the government too well. You know, people can call me black pilled all they want, but I knew for a fact we were never going to get the truth. We just weren't. But there are people who are upset about it, which I understand. And I don't know what to tell them, dude. Like, did they really think we were going to get that list of like all these super powerful people who are paying for like, children? Like, of course not.
I will say this. I don't care about the list as long as in the end, whoever was behind this and worked with it goes to jail.
But they won't. That's the thing.
Yeah, but what I'm wondering, there has been a hypothesis. Like, are they really going to announce to everybody? Like one part, there are some groups who are saying, is the president using this in order to push his agenda forward, and he's using the list? That's one thought. Another thought is have they told everybody this is all there is, there's nothing else, and continuing the investigation? I don't know. All I've said is, however they've handled it last night on FAFO, is that this is incorrect. The way that they have talked about it to the public is totally off the mark. They needed to share everything they had, not the videos of kids. We don't need to see those. Everything they had on the man, they needed to do that because there's so much already available online from, oh my God, media to the investigative reporters that have dug things up. So I think it was handled incorrectly.
Well, it was one of the things that Trump ran on, right? And and to not deliver it, especially something that big, I think a lot of people lost faith, right? A lot of people are, which again, I don't understand that because it's the government. Why would you ever put faith in the government anyway? But people voted for him partly because of that reason. And
I'm not losing faith. Yeah, go ahead.
No, now they're never going to get it. So
I'm still holding out hope. I haven't lost faith. I'm pissed off. I don't like people who are just bootlickers or 24/7, like they don't care what he does. He has my faith. For me, he earned that. I'm going to wait. If he doesn't come through, that's a different matter.
Well, and I think that's what it is. Like you can be disappointed and call him out and call out the administration and still understand that what we got is better than what we could have gotten back in November.
Yeah, I don't want to do. I thought that originally, but then you're going back to that whole, the lesser of two evils. I'm so sick of that.
But that's what government is always going to be. It's always going to be the lesser of two evils, man. Look, for all of Trump's good intentions or whatever, he still has to play the game to some degree.
Yes, he does.
Right? He can't win every battle.
No, he can't. I'm just hoping that I'm right. We were talking about this again last night. I'm hoping that something's going to change because Mark had released this morning from Rasmussen that his numbers, because he was about half a point away from beating Chicago Jesus, from beating Barack Obama a week ago. Half a point from being basically the most popular president in history. To this morning, it just went right back down. And so that.
Well, I mean that was a big thing, man.
I agree. All righty, here we're gonna go. Let me read. Do we have anything else? Yes, we got Berg Flicka became a YouTube member. He joined George the Giant Slayer channel. Thank you very much. And whoa, right after that, he became a warrior. Thank you, Berg Flicka. Way to go! I can't wait to see you in the member stream. That is a beautiful sight. Love it. And Eric K for $5. Do not forget the O'Keefe video of Bondi talking about, yes, I know, about the tens of thousands of hours of videos with the crimes and boxes. See, she addressed the video, Eric. That part doesn't bother me. She says, yeah, we got a lot of videos with a lot of kids. We're never going to show them. I don't want to see them. I'm talking about the fact that, well, I have a video. I played it last night. Hold on. It's like 3 seconds. It was of Kash Patel. Kash Patel, come on, where are you? Where it was of Kash Patel telling Benny Johnson 2 years ago what he thought about the files. And he was like, yeah, that list, Fantasy Island's list, was made up of the most powerful people. And now he comes out as the head of the FBI saying, oh, no, it's not there. It's not there. By the way, your favorite, I had to play this before we leave. Whoopi Goldberg decided to come out and say what it's like working at The View. Keep this in mind. She makes $8.5 million a year before she gets a piece of the advertising money, which she shared a long time ago.
You know what? Let us say this to you. Thank you for that, because sometimes this gig can feel like hell. And
she goes on to complain how it's a hard job co-hosting The View for $8.5 million a year.
Oh yes, it's so hard making all that money. to sit on your ass and talk shit all day.
No. Anyway, this has been a fun show. I wait to hear Tom's reaction to this twat as before we leave, because he pissed me off. I used to like Ray Liotta until this clip. I will say he is base for telling the truth of what he feels like, but he's an asshole for what he said.
Who was the most overrated actor back in the 80s and 90s? You can't say yourself. Like, what actor was like the buzz that was the most overrated in the 80s and 90s?
As an actor?
As an actor. Yeah.
Clint Eastwood, probably.
Okay, Clint Eastwood. Interesting. Name your favorite.
I understand what he's getting at.
What? Who do you think is going to be remembered? Ray Liotta in 100 years or Clint Eastwood?
Well, the thing is like, he asked who was the most overrated actor, and he said, as an actor.
I know he's dead. Yeah.
So here's the thing with Clint. Clint plays the same role in every fucking movie he's in. He has zero range. There's squinting hard, squinting harder, and
John
squinting
Wayne
even harder.
did the same.
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with that. Tom Cruise, he could have easily said Tom Cruise too, really. I mean, outside of till you get to like Born on the 4th of July and some of those kind of movies, Tom Cruise was basically the same character in every fucking movie too. Right? It's just kind of that thing. Like I don't agree with him necessarily, but I get where he's coming from.
Okay, because I was like taking a shot at
Clint Eastwood's a great director, but as far as an actor, he's very,
I don't know, unforgiving.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think I like Clint more as a director. I liked his stuff better as a director than his acting. So I mean, I get what he's saying.
He fits a role though. Yeah.
You think Unforgiven? He didn't stretch himself there?
Not really.
He did a good job in Unforgiven.
He's fine in it, but it's nothing different than he's ever done before, really, I would say.
Okay.
And overrated is a weird word, man, when you're talking about like a legend, right? So it
just came out of nowhere. I found this old Liotta clip and I was like, he really said that? Unbelievable.
I think Harrison Ford might have been a little bit better of an answer or something like that, perhaps, because he was in a lot. He was considered a bigger actor just because of all the shit that he was in, like Star Wars and Indiana Jones and all that kind of stuff, compared to the actual performances he was usually turning in. Right? Like in that case, like I would say he was more over, because like in the 80s, Clint here's the only reason I see resistance to that, because like by the time you get to the 80s, Clint Eastwood wasn't making like the type of movies he was back in the 60s and 70s anymore.
Yeah,
he had
Pale Rider and
like he had a few, but most of his other stuff was like, like Heartbreak Ridge and stuff like that. So it was a little bit different than his norm. So I don't agree with his take on as far as like the 80s. Now, if you were saying the 70s, perhaps, because by the time you get to the 80s, there was a lot of other actors that I would say were much more overrated and probably not nearly as good as what their their status was. And like I said, Harrison Ford's a good example. And not that I don't like Harrison Ford, right? It's just that if you look at his body of work, he's had a hell of a lot more misses than he has hits. Outside what you take away like Indiana Jones and shit like that. So yeah.
Well, cool. This has been a great show, gentlemen. Thank you as always. Dante, what do you got coming up? Please share with everyone.
Yeah, guys, I'll have my review up very soon of Superman. Have to throw that out there. You can catch me in about 3 hours with Nina Infinity. I'm going to be on her show talking about it. Tomorrow is VRL. I have special guest Ashton Blaze joining me, and we're going to talk about a lot of things, and especially political. So it's going to be a wild time with her tomorrow.
Awesome.
And yeah, that's it for me.
Cool. Tom, I know you got to get some sleep because you've been up all night. What do you have coming up on Midnight's Edge, Midnight's Edge After Dark, Midnight's Edge Espanol?
I'm sure we'll have another video dropping. We've been doing a lot of work on this James Gunn business. Check that out if you haven't already. I have Midnight's Edge After Dark tomorrow night. I'll have physical media later. Hopefully I'll see you guys there.
Yep. Did you see the Odyssey trailer? Was it on Superman?
No, unfortunately they didn't have that at least.
Okay, because I sent the link last week if y'all want it.
I never got a chance to see it.
Okay, I'll send it to you.
I think it was either pulled down or I just didn't see it. One of the two.
No,
Somebody else sent me to it too.
Yeah, it's on Daily Motion. It's on Daily Motion. Don't look at all the 50 phony ones. You can tell which one's the real one. All righty. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, everybody. Your support has been amazing. Feel the love from here. I appreciate it. It helps keeps the lights on. We're going to be back here this Sunday, Slayer Nation, with special guest Brandon Straka. And we're also going to talk about Terry Gilliam. He just gave an interview because he's going to be coming on the channel soon. But he gave an interview that why his movie was fucked up. It was supposed to be a partial parody on Trump, and he said Trump won. He wasn't supposed to win, so he could make a parody. Now he has to rewrite the script. Anyway, love you all. Have a blessed week. Remember, we're fighters with one unbreakable rule. We never bow down. We never bend the knee. Always forward. Catch you later.